everybody. We're live. Welcome to Nerds Incoming. It's weird since I rebranded, not saying same audio show anymore, but getting used to it. So I got movie Cosmic Francis. What's up? I got movie Pain or Pleasure on. A new podcast on YouTube that is fucking fire, guys. You should go and check it out if you
Okay.
haven't. So AJ and Melanie, right? I got that
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. So how's it going, guys? How you doing?
Pretty good.
Good enough.
Good enough. How are you?
I'm good. So AJ, or both of y'all, you Taekwondo, both of you, or just you, AJ?
No, that's where Melanie was my student for a while. Like
Okay.
she still trains elsewhere now, but yeah, that's how we met.
Nice. Hell yeah. So how long have you been doing that?
25 years.
Wow. Okay. I haven't been doing that long. I did it for maybe 2 or 3 years when I was a kid, and then for the last 7 years as an adult.
Okay, nice. And when you got into it as an adult, that's when you met AJ.
Yeah, I started in 2013, and that's when I met AJ, and I was actually scared of him when I first met him. I had
Oh
strep
yeah.
throat because, you're around a bunch of kids, and of course you're going to get strep throat. So I was still kind of recovering, and I came to watch a class. And usually we had these like old chill masters in their 60s who just, they led warm ups and they were nice about it and everything. There was one guy that was scary, but then there was this young guy and he's barking orders at people and yelling. And I'm sitting in the back with the parents watching, and I'm like, who the hell is this guy? He's terrifying. And it was AJ. So,
Holy shit.
yeah.
That's funny as hell yeah.
When she started, I was actually over there in Arkansas.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah?
Yeah, I
So
was like a green belt or so when you came back.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why was you yelling at like what you're in there yelling at kids and shit?
I don't know. I grew up with the whole militaristic, not like at home, just like that's what Taekwondo kind of was. Like everybody's supposed to be moving around and keeping in line and all that shit. So
Yeah.
I
So it
didn't
was a little
like.
bit different whenever you started. Like
Yeah, it got more like, I guess, kid friendly the longer
Although,
it went. So
I mean, I started with our old Korean grandmaster who, you
well,
still
isn't there
stand in line
two
and say yes, sir, and you bow every 5 minutes. So
yeah.
it wasn't like it was lax or
But
anything when I started.
isn't there another Taekwondo group other than was it the ATA or whatever? That is like
ATA
full
is big.
contact and shit.
Well, ATA is big in Arkansas apparently, because like my nephew just started at ATA school, and there was one in Little Rock when I lived
Yeah,
there, so
yeah.
I guess they're pretty big there. Here, they're not that big. Like our
Yeah.
school was technically World Taekwondo Federation affiliated, but we didn't
Yeah.
really we didn't really train like them though. We were more like old Korean style, because
Oh, okay.
our grandmaster he taught in the military
But
in the Vietnam War.
is it the World Taekwondo Federation that's like full contact and shit or whatever, or they have like
They're the
full
ones that are in the
contact tournament?
Olympics.
Okay, in the
Uh,
Olympics. Okay, okay. So like
yeah.
I know there's one group where they Jerfus, where you at? Anyways, I know
Well,
there's one group where they fucking thank you, Jerfus. People was somebody spam chat that I was trying to fucking block them and stuff. That's why I was like, Jerfus, moderator. Alright. But anyways, yeah, they're promoting them. Fuck that. But anyways, I'm high as fuck. Anyways, I used to do martial arts. I didn't do taekwondo, but I did my dad was a instructor in Goju Ryu, and
Right.
I did kung fu though. I did Wing Chun, Viking, a little bit of Viking. Damn, dude, I'm stoned. Um, that's super not professional. But anyways,
Well,
Melanie's book. Moving fuck on from that. All right, so your book. So you're doing a book on mental health.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do a shameless self promotion and put it up on
Yeah,
the
no, go
screen.
ahead.
So it's a memoir, and it's called Kicking and Screaming: A Memoir of Madness and Martial Arts. And basically, the story is how I used training in Taekwondo to get through some really tough mental illness challenges. So I've struggled with mental illness stuff my whole life. And when I was about 30, I got diagnosed with depression and bipolar disorder and anxiety. And the whole time I had an eating disorder too. And I didn't really get that in check until this past year. But around 2013, I was already, on medication. I was seeing a therapist, and that was okay. It got me to a baseline. I wasn't suicidal or anything, but I was still what one of my therapists would call hot mess express. And I was. I was a moron. I was just mood swings up and down, bad relationship choices, really volatile temper, getting into all kinds of trouble. I was hiding it from people, coworkers and stuff, but I was drinking a lot. So I just finally got to a point where I was at a breaking point, thought I've got to do something drastic to get my head out of my ass and do something with my life that's positive. And so I'd kind of had in the back of my mind that I wanted to do Taekwondo again because I had done it out in Snyder, which was a rural West Texas town where I grew up. And it was a really community oriented school. It was lots of fun, and I liked it, but I never really seriously thought about going back. And so, okay, I'm at my rock bottom, drinking, washing down my anti-anxiety medication with whiskey, and thinking I've got to change my life. So I discovered my instructors in Snyder were like third degree or fourth degree or something, and they reported up to a grandmaster who's like a ninth degree, kind of their boss, and an old Korean guy, and he ran his school here in Fort Worth. And I remembered him coming
Nice.
to our tests and tournaments and stuff like that. But I never knew, I never paid attention to that he was in Fort Worth. And I mean, I've lived in Fort Worth for over 15 years. And so I just thought, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna train Taekwondo. So I went and trained with this grandmaster, and that's where I met AJ. And it really helped. It kind of helped me be more responsible, make better choices, get my head on straight, gain more confidence. And so it was life changing. And I wrote a book about it. And so that's kind of the story. You see the journey from white belt to black belt, and then also from really troubled mental health crisis to somebody who is more happy and confident and can handle life's problems.
Nice. Hey, that sounds like a great book. Show that again.
Yeah, thank you. So it's the cover, and again, it's called Kicking
Nice.
and Screaming: A Memoir of Madness and Martial Arts, and you can buy it on any bookseller,
Who
Amazon,
did the
Barnes and
art for
Noble.
the cover? Or do
The
you
cover
know, or
artist
was it
was,
just like kind of
yeah,
random?
I worked with a small independent publisher called She Writes Press,
Okay.
and they focus on female authors. And so they had a cover designer named Julie Metz, and
Okay.
they do really nice cover designs. And I kind of had some ideas. Like, I like book covers that are simple and have something maybe kind of symbolic of what's going on in the book, not so on the nose that it's cheesy, but just something really simple, especially memoir. That's my favorite genre. And so they had a couple of different cover ideas, and this was the best one. I will say I was kind of underwhelmed when I saw it just on a picture, but it really looks good on a book cover.
Yeah, it really does. I like that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for the raid, Academy Impossible. We got to give y'all a shout out. Welcome, viewers. I hope you guys enjoy the podcast that I've got going on, and I'm gonna get back into it now. Thanks for watching. Hope you stick around and enjoy the show. Thanks again, Academy Impossible. So yeah, that art though that she did, that cover design that she did was that it fits well with what you're with how you're describing the like,
Hmm.
and that's why I asked. It catches the eye. Like if I saw that, I'd buy it probably.
Good, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
And if
you,
I
I
read what
remember
you
the.
just told me on the back of it, that'd be a seller. Like between that and the cover design and stuff, you know.
Oh,
So is that
thank you.
along like what does it say on the back of the book? Like when you flip it over, does it
Uh,
have like a little quote from you or
yeah,
something in there?
it's got a little synopsis that I wrote, and
Can
we
you
were
read
actually
that
making
for
fun
us?
of it. Yeah, I'll read it for you. I will say we were kind of making fun of it because it sounds like the South Park episode where they're doing the Rob Schneider,
Oh
uh,
shit.
you know, like
Yeah.
Melanie Gibson thought she had it all, and so we're making fun of that. So I'll read it.
Go ahead.
Melanie Gibson was an independent career woman who seemed to have a successful life. Beneath her polished exterior, however, she harbored multiple mental illnesses, a substance abuse problem, and rotten relationship skills. In early 2013, as a last desperate means to save her sanity, Melanie turned to a nearly forgotten childhood activity, Taekwondo. When she restarted her training as a white belt, she quickly learned the Korean martial art had much more to offer than learning how to kick and punch. In Taekwondo, Melanie felt she was getting a fresh start in more ways than one. She found an inner peace she'd never known before, a sense of community, a newfound confidence, and a positive outlook on life. Funny and frank, Kicking and Screaming is the story of Melanie's life changing journey from troubled lost soul to confident Taekwondo black belt.
And then she became a stapler.
Then she
Melanie
became a
Gibson is a
staple.
stapler.
Right.
Hell yeah,
Oh, we,
that's funny as fuck.
and you even got
But
a you got
no,
Insane Ando to
that's
do a blurb,
good
right?
though. I like
Yeah,
that
thank you.
you wrote that well. I think
Thank you.
my in
Thank
my
you.
yeah, and I'm a book nerd for sure. So I'd probably definitely uh enjoy reading that. I'm gonna check. Where's it available?
You can get it on Amazon. You can get it in print format, digital format if you have an e-reader. Barnes and Noble.
Okay.
There's a bookshop.org. Amazon's probably the easiest if that's where you order books. I
Okay.
know as like an indie book person, I'm not supposed to say that, but I order all my books from Amazon, so.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. After we're done with this, send me a link to that
I will.
where I can get that book, and I'll put it in the descriptions for the videos and the podcasts and stuff on Spotify and all that whenever I drop
Okay,
all
thank
this.
you. I will.
Yeah. Yeah. That's no problem. It sounds like a good book, and yeah, and I'm I'd like to help you learn promote because I'm all for like mental health and so I really am
Hmm.
into that kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah, I
And
will say, well, you're writing a book about your mental health is one thing, but then having to publicize it is another. So this year, my book came out in April. I'd kept that
yeah.
a secret from everybody, my family, my coworkers,
Oh,
and
so you
now I'm
don't
out on
want it?
podcasts and writing articles and stuff
So
and talking about it. So it's forced me to really be open and honest about what's
yeah.
really gone on with me and what I need.
So has that been hard getting comfortable like doing that, like getting comfortable promoting this? Have you been promoting the book? The, or
Yes, it
okay.
was a little uncomfortable at first. Actually, one of the first articles I wrote was about how I'm still going to fake it in the workplace and not tell anybody about my mental health. And some of that has changed. I've actually had some conversations with my boss
Yeah.
about it. But at first, it felt like, I had to really kind of have a come to Jesus moment with myself and be like, if I want my life to change and to feel better, I need to start being more authentic and honest about what I've been through, what I've learned and what I need in life to be happy. And so, yeah, being promoting the book on podcasts and articles has really been a game changer for me because it's forced me to talk about it. It would be hypocritical of me if I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that's I am not that brave. No, I don't like talking about shit like that, like personally. So, that's that's awesome. Um, able to like that's a lot of work, sure,
Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
taken to get to that. So what's up with this multiverse thing that y'all got going?
Were you gonna say something?
Oh
before?
God, it's so dumb. No. So
Not
the
about Ando.
no.
Okay.
Well, unless you want to promote him too, but
Oh, I do want to give a shout out to somebody else in the YouTube multiverse of the martial arts multiverse before we move on to Sensei Ando
Go
Mirzwa.
ahead.
He does Happy Life Martial Arts, and we became friends on social media. And he very kindly read my book and wrote a
Oh,
beautiful blurb for the back of it. But the best part was, in my book, it's also goes through this really toxic relationship with a guy named Ricardo, and I say that in quotes because it's not his real name. And Ando
yeah.
sent me this lovely email, beautiful blurb, but at the end he goes, "P.S. Fuck Ricardo. Seriously."
and this guy's like
Huh.
the Mr. Rogers of
Mr.
martial arts.
Squeaky clean, nice.
Flanders.
So if I got a fuck out of him, then I guess it was pretty good writing.
That's funny. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, okay, so
Multiverse.
back to our multiverse. So because we watch too much, well, not really. We probably don't watch as much as most people, to be honest with you. But since we watch all these movies that we like with sort of niche, I don't know, interests and whatnot, we have all these different characters that we get really attached to, and we create a diagram of how they intersect between being heroes, villains, and queens. And some are in two, and some are in lucky enough to be right dab in the center. And it spans everything, like from Disney movies to like old classics to martial arts movies. It's
Some books.
yeah. Oh, also novels that we've read, like Stephen King novels and such.
Picture of Dory Gray.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Do you want me to
yeah,
give some examples?
let's see if we can throw out a couple to give an idea.
Okay, I'll give one. Hannibal Lecter is a hero, villain, and queen.
Yeah.
In the Venn diagram, he's right in the center.
Yeah, because we can appreciate that he only murders, well, not only, but he mostly only murders people that he finds offensive. So that
Okay.
makes him sort of a hero and sort of a villain. And also he eats up the scene, so he's a total queen.
Princess Bubblegum from Adventure Time is a straight up villain. We hate her.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because okay, I can see how, like, I didn't grow up on it, so I didn't see it.
either. My kids watch that shit.
Oh yeah, well,
It's trippy.
my nieces and nephews grew up on that shit. Like I think my niece Jasmine posted something about Princess Bubblegum at one point, and I was like, just so you know, she's a total villain. She's like, why? Like,
she's a dictator.
you have to go back and watch it, but
She's a dictator. Jesus
she's a
Christ,
controlling
that's all
dictator.
right.
So basically, she's like, she's created her own people to rule over,
Yeah.
and then she's decided they're so stupid that she has to decide what they get to know. Like, she has them under surveillance 24/7, and some of them she made stupid on purpose just to control them. So she's awful, just really
yeah.
terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But
I get that. I haven't looked at it like that, but yeah.
well, we also take forever to watch everything, so we have plenty of time to question all the morality and like
Mhm.
meaning behind all the things no one needs to ask. So
Yeah. So, what made you like? Okay, so y'all was just sitting around watching movies one night and was like, and talking about it and was like, this could be a podcast, or like, how'd that come about with Movie Pain or Pleasure?
well, Melanie was doing her a ton of podcast interviews for her book, and then she liked doing that, and then she decided that she wanted to sort of do a podcast of her own, and this was but so
Okay, so this was her idea.
mostly, yeah.
Mhm.
You're just here
I-
along for the ride.
Well,
Well,
I'm just
so
fucking with you, dude.
so among our
Shit.
many
No,
interests, like
that was I worded that wrong.
well, no, this has been a rough year for me. I've been depressed a lot, and there
Yeah,
was a
yeah,
part of me that was tired of being fake. Like the word authenticity has been haunting me this whole year, being more authentic. And
I
so I
get
have a
that.
corporate job, which I appreciate and all, but I have to be fake for it. I have to be serious for it. And even doing the book promotion, I have to be serious. I'm like, I just want to do something silly and stupid. And we have
Nice.
so much fun watching movies together and stopping and talking and analyzing that it just kind of popped up in my brain like, why not do a podcast about movies? And I didn't know if AJ would be game for it or not, but he really got into it. He's the one that
No,
started the
he
YouTube
does
channel and Twitch
really
and everything
well
else.
with it. I was joking 100 by the way. But yeah, he does really well with it.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of made. But yeah, that shit. I like what you are doing. So, like, what's your favorite like genre? Like, do you guys have a favorite genre? I'm sure
Well,
y'all might have like differing opinions on things. Don't disagree on everything.
we have
Or
okay,
you pretty
so
much
we have
do.
genres that we definitely look into more. Like well, maybe not quite so much recently, but for a while we were doing
I'll let both of you
Scary Movie
answer this
Sunday.
separately.
Okay. Yeah, we were doing like Scary Movie Sunday, so we at least got one horror movie a week, and then, but
Yeah,
we
yeah,
have like other types of movies that we get into moods for, like Christian movies and dance movies. So,
yeah.
uh,
Yeah, I'd say, I
Christian
guess,
dance movies? Is that what you
well,
Christian,
said?
well, I don't know if we found a Christian dance movie, but yeah,
Christian comma dance movie.
Christian
Christian
movies,
Christian. Okay.
those started out as something to watch, like, let's watch it and make fun of it. And we
Oh,
found
okay.
some that really just, like, get under my skin and make me angry because they preach and, they're really judgmental. But there
Uh-huh.
were some that were good, too.
Oh, okay. That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's where I think Christian movies are what set us up for guilty pleasure or hate watch, because everything else was kind of like we want to watch this knowing it's going to be bad, and
Yeah.
then
Oh,
we saw God's Not Dead, and that
okay.
was a very hate watch movie. So,
It was just terrible. I've never
like,
seen it. I've
okay,
heard about it. I've definitely heard about it. Never watched it.
it's offensive.
Well, it's
Like,
just the assumptions they make about either non-believers or it's this whole it's kind of like, okay, we're getting into the holiday season. Every year everybody's like, there's a war on Christmas. You can't even say Merry Christmas anymore. And come on, Christians run the country. They run the rest Western world. So there's this victim attitude of like they're trying to get rid of God and they're trying to get rid of you. Like you guys run everything. So yeah, I
That's
was
what
just
we're
watching a
trying
video
to
about it, actually,
stop
a
is how
Wisecrack
they
video,
run
and
the world. Not like
yeah,
necessarily
so
trying to get rid of God. Like nobody cares what your personal beliefs are as
no.
far as like a higher power, but you know, these people don't need the amount of influence that they have, the amount of power that they got is
Hmm.
just
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, they act like victims
It's
in the movie, but they're the ones
yeah.
running things. And I was raised Catholic in a small West Texas town full of not Catholics. And so I have a very jaded view towards organized religion and stuff because I saw it used as a weapon a lot of
Yeah.
bigotry, homophobia, racism, all that stuff. So I just have
Yeah.
no time for people pushing
I'm
religion,
not gonna
any
lie to
religion on
you.
anybody.
Even when I was a kid, I had religion. People tried to shove religion down my throat, and I always just knew that it was bullshit. Even when
Hmm.
I was a kid, I was like, they're like kids stories. I knew that when I was like 8 years old, and that's when I learned like knowing the fucking well. Okay, look, they've proved that on National Geographic. If you get swallowed by a whale, you're definitely gonna die. You're not gonna live. You're not gonna be spat back out. You're gonna die before you even make it to the stomach. The proven fact. And I'm not gonna believe a children's story over science. And I made that
Hmm.
decision when I was really young. I've never. So I could appreciate the you know, uh, hate watch on that part or whatever, or not.
On top.
No, that sounded bad. Hold on, the way I just word not hate watch, like the
Well,
fucking
that's how we
the,
call it,
Kind of.
but
I'll give you a
with
better
it
example of a
with
hate
it
watch is
being
like the Twilight
like
movies.
with like being able to make fun of it, shit.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I could
So
make fun of it all day long, but no, they don't need to run the world.
yeah.
Kind of got
So
off
okay.
topic there a little bit. My bad.
Yeah, sorry. I
Mm.
can get on that soapbox and I'm gonna step off. So
Yeah,
I'm
me
stepping off.
too. I can get pretty offensive. I've been.
So I guess we should. Well, now I feel the need to make a disclaimer just in case. But
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
things. One, beware of whales, especially orcas. They rape. Anyway, two.
Yeah.
um,
And they rip out the
so
tongues of babies.
so we don't watch
He's-
Christian movies to hate. Like we hate watch them, as in we know we're gonna get angry, but we can also make a lot of fun of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not because we hate Christians.
Yeah,
We
no,
just
I know that.
hate arrogant people
Mm-hmm.
and like the victim arrogance thing. 'Cause like I grew up. Okay, so like backstory. Jerry, Jerfus, would very recently. I think he was talking to my uncle, and he said something like, "Andrew's an angel, but he's an atheist," and I'm not. I'm not an atheist, but I'm an unaligned theist, I guess. Like I think everybody's wrong about God, but I was raised Christian Science, but very very loosely. Like I didn't go to church. The only
Yeah.
time I went to church was with my best friend who went to Baptist church, and I didn't want to drive back home and pick his ass up later, so I just stayed.
Yeah.
But I didn't like, you know how shit just rubs you the wrong way, and I was always taught the whole pray in your closet type of religion. Like, you shut the fuck up and you do your shit at home and leave everybody else
Mhm.
alone.
That's what I like
So,
about it.
but
Yeah.
yeah, okay, so we're not just picking on Christian movies. There's also like dance movies. We do the same thing. Some of
Yeah.
them, they look terrible, and we're like, okay, we gotta watch it because it's probably
I like
hilarious.
the one that y'all did. I like the one that y'all did with Death Note. That was
Oh, thank
a
you.
good
Oh,
episode.
that made me angry. That was a hate watch for sure.
Yeah,
That
for
was.
sure it was. That was a good one. I enjoyed it. Because I like watching. I grew up on Death Note. Like whenever I was like 17, Death Note popular. It was like the fact that they made a live action movie or whatever. Was it live action? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
It
fact
was
they
live
made a
action.
live action movie or whatever and fucked it up is like it pisses me off. It rubs me the wrong way 'cause like they took that childhood nostalgia and just ran it into the fucking dirt. You know what I mean? Like that's how I feel
yeah.
about that.
Well, I had watched that one a couple times before, and it was the first anime I told Melanie to watch because I thought it's an interesting story that didn't need to be an anime technically.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
which is why I think it's a good one to get non-anime watchers into it.
Yeah,
So,
I'd never seen anime before, and then he told me to watch Death Note. And if it's got Satan or death or demons or something or cults, I'm there. So,
Yeah.
it's a book that kills people. Okay, I'm on board. And I loved it. So,
Yeah.
then I kind of got into some anime after that. But yeah, watching this movie, I'm like, even if you haven't seen the anime, it's just a bad movie. It sucks.
yeah, and okay,
Yeah.
like we try to be I know we're dicks, but we try to be nice about people making movies cuz that shit's hard.
Yeah.
And it's not all you're gonna think of it in your head and it might be awesome if you make it and it's not the way you meant it to be. But that one made me angry because we looked at these extras where we talked with the director and stuff like that.
Sorry, I'm trying
All
to
the
fix
light.
the blinds. Just keep talking. The
And
sun's on our face.
this director was like, "Yeah, I really want to do a dark and gritty version of Death Note." I'm like, "Fuck you! It was already dark and gritty. It was way darker than what we got. We got like a really bad Final Destination ripoff.
Yeah, gory doesn't mean dark and
Yeah.
gritty necessarily. It just means there's lots of squishy guts and blood.
Yeah, for sure.
That look like watermelon juice.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what y'all said in the podcast. Yeah, that's
Thank you. I think
nice.
you're the one person besides our dads who listened to that episode.
Yeah, I did. I caught that for sure. But yeah, no, it was a good episode. I think I left a comment on there too, that and letting y'all
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
that I liked it. Yeah. And y'all are great on commenting. Or quick, bro. With that. That's
It's
nice.
'cause
We
they're-
try.
Makes
there's
it
so
makes
few.
it cooler for the fans, for the audience. Yeah, when you, I think that's cool because a lot of YouTubers and shit, you know, I've noticed a lot of there's a lot of YouTube don't comment back with fans. They're try to like every now and then. So that's cool. Y'all do that. I like that. And so okay. So what about like horror movies? Y'all have um like preferences on like horror movies? Like are there horror movies uh that y'all have done like that y'all have done like the hate watch thing for and stuff, or like, or
Well,
tell me
okay,
about some of
so
the horror movies that you
Hate watch
dislike
and
and some like.
then our recommendations.
yeah, so we did all of October we did some like Death Note was the first one of
Besides Death
October.
Note, we know that
Bec-
one sucks.
yeah, because it was vaguely horror, and then the
Okay,
rest of the
since we
month we
talked
did
about
like
Death Note and we talked about how that was a hate watch, I guess it could be considered horror to a certain extent or whatever. Let's talk about something that y'all enjoyed watching as far as horror goes that's been put out recently.
We recommended Malignant.
yeah, we recommend Malignant. It's actually we do have a recommendation video for like
Okay.
just
Okay, so
movies
y'all
that
do
we feel.
recommendation videos too, not
Yeah,
just
that was our Halloween
critiquing.
special.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we felt that we were doing enough bitching that month, so we put out a whole video of just recommendations called Halloween recommendations on YouTube and
Yeah.
something else on Spotify, I don't recall. But yeah, Malignant specifically was a good one that came out much more recent because I'm starting to realize I appreciate horror movies that like go with an interesting concept and they just flat out stick to it. Like they really
Yeah.
look at all the options that they could do with a story around it, and Malignant was like definitely that.
And it was
Yeah.
fun. It was really fun to watch.
It sounds like it's fun to
Like
watch.
in opposition to Malignant is something like Apparition, which we did a episode on,
Okay.
which like it had an interesting concept and they did nothing with it, which is why we were so
Really?
mad. So that's what like
What do you
Apparition
mean?
sort of had this like, what if you could create spirits just through the power of your thoughts, and then they didn't do anything at all with that premise, so we hated it. And then there's movies
Oh,
like Malignant, which have a super weird, like it sounds ridiculous, but it's done really well premise. So
And they stick with
yeah.
it hard. I mean,
It-
they go in all the way with it.
yeah,
Nice.
that's what she said.
Ah, you beat me
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, I just caught on. Hell yeah. So, what about the podcast itself? Like, what, like, did y'all know kind of like, did y'all have like an idea of like what platform, what to use? Like, tell me about
Well,
going into the podcast and like setting it up and like getting it started. What was that experience like for you?
I did a little research and then it was starting to make me kind of crazy. So I went back to what I kind of learned from people who had interviewed me about my book. And the first platform I kind of interacted with was Anchor. I think I did my first interview on
Yeah.
Anchor. And so I've learned other podcasters use it. It's free. It's really easy to use. So I
Yeah.
didn't want to invest a whole lot of money or time into something just kind of starting out. So I set up an Anchor account and I've learned along the way, like I've learned how to edit the audio and add in music and stuff like that. It's really simple and easy to use. So that's the platform
Yeah.
I'm using now. And that one they partner with Spotify, so it's automatically uploaded to Spotify. And then I
Yeah.
think they have other things like somehow I already had like an Apple account, so I was able to put it into iTunes, and then it's complicated with the other platforms. So right now it's just on Anchor, Spotify, and iTunes, but that seems to be what most
Yeah.
people use anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
I've
had to
been. Go ahead.
I had to I had to argue for the YouTube page. Like Melanie was just like, "Oh no, just I'm doing this." So I
Yeah.
told her like I just didn't want to start the podcast and then want to add it later and be like, "Oh, there's all these episodes no one can
Yeah.
find," because we only did audio. So
Yeah.
we did
For
the
sure.
YouTube and it's already been changing a little bit because I realized more of what we can do with the videos and whatnot. And
Yeah.
now it's happening again because we decided to go ahead and set up a Twitch, which we haven't made any episodes yet, but we're going to start using pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can say I told you so with YouTube. That was a good idea because I actually like to go back and watch the videos. I think we're funny on there together. My dad loves to watch it, so he's got that on there. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and so I think the more platforms you have, the more people we reach, and we actually have more watchers on YouTube than I think listeners on Anchor or anything else.
Yeah.
Really. So that's wild. I think for YouTube and Spotify or Anchor for me it's about the same, you know, per episode, which uh but yeah, I use that platform too. And I'll say this, I've used it before, since like I've been with them before they was a Spotify company, you know. So like I was with them when they sold out to Spotify and all that. Before Spotify bought it out, it was better because they
Mhm.
put it on Google Podcasts and put it on all these other platforms for you. And then as soon as Spotify got a hold of it, it only goes to Spotify and you have to put it on all these other platforms
Mhm.
yourself and shit. Like all the platforms that Anchor had put my shit on before it was Spotify, Spotify took my shit off of everything but Spotify whenever they
Wow.
switched, whenever they got bought out, wherever they bought them out, and they did all this shit slowly. So it was in like a progression of like a year that they started doing all these, you know, fucked up, making all these fucked up changes, you know, and you know, even like with the ads, I used to have 3 or 4 different sponsors plus the Anchor sponsorship from Anchor itself, which everybody gets, you know, whenever they start. Um, you have the option to record an ad for them or whatever. But I had 3 or 4 other, uh, you know, companies that I was partnered with for recording ads for them and shit, so that I got paid for. All of those got fucking, like, I lost all those whenever it got switched to Spotify. I haven't even gotten any more offers, like email offers for those, because Spotify's algorithm is different. It changed up everything. So, but it
So
used to be a
basically,
better
did the
platform. But it's still a good platform. Don't get me wrong. It's still
Yeah,
probably,
it's easy.
no, it's still, yeah, it's a easy platform shit, but I just don't like those changes they made where they
Mhm.
made it more difficult, where it's like, you know, it feels like they're pushing you to be like, okay, you're like, you know, your shit is like exclusively on Spotify. If you want to have it anywhere else, you know, you gotta work your ass off to do it. Like, you know, fuck you. You know what I mean? It's like they want you to be like exclusively Spotify. You know, and I know like
sure,
bigger people, they'll buy them out and shit and like pay them like the Joe Rogan Experience and shit like that. For example, you know, they
absolutely.
paid him out where they paid him a lump sum enough to get him to be exclusively Spotify. And then they just have different ways of going about it for the smaller podcasts.
So they basically Reebok and UFC'd it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, that's what they did. But it's still a decent platform. So I still use it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think for the foreseeable future, I'll use it. Yeah, they have something now like you have to have 50 unique listeners to qualify for having an ad. We're not there yet.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
need to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Our cult is
That's
not big enough.
that is fucking man, that is crazy. But see, they've made it harder, and my podcast used to get more plays, more way more plays than what it does now. I used to make a decent amount of money to be able to reinvest. I used it to reinvest in honey buns at one point. So I used all my earnings from Spotify, and I bought boxes of honey buns to give to the homeless.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
Oh,
cool.
nice.
giving honey buns to homeless people and shit. So yeah, that was a thing that I did, and um, yeah. So like, there's there was things that were good about it, because like I used it to give back, but now Spotify's made it to where I can't even have the same revenue source that I used to before they switched. You know what I mean? So like things like that aren't possible, which sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bummer, but it is what it is, you know what I mean? I still have that one advertisement that's like, their fucking advertisement. Like this is the only one you get now. What happened to all my other fucking sponsors and fucking but
I'm
I
just
always
fingers
had like
crossed that just fingers
yeah.
crossed that we'll get like a YouTube ad for some shit I don't even use, like Raid Shadow Legends or whatever that's flooding the market.
Oh Jesus
So
Christ. Yeah, I've already had a Raid Shadow Legends thing come across my email for Twitch.
shit, I'll fucking use that sponsor. I don't do that shit, but I
I
guess I'll
don't know what
start.
that.
It's they sponsor fucking everybody. Like
Oh.
On
they shove it down everybody's throat.
Yeah, but I
I think it's
tried
funny when
playing the game and I can't fucking
Oh, it's
play
a
it.
game.
Like,
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's a mobile game. It's
Oh, okay. I think it's fun. I watch a bunch of anti-cult and anti-MLM videos because I'm obsessed with that stuff. And it's always funny because the ads that always show up are these guys who are like, hey, you know, I can show you how to get rich quick and blah blah blah, all this stuff. Like, look at my Lamborghini, just sell these courses and you can quit your day job and be rich like me. And then you
yeah,
go into like the videos that are totally against scammers like that. So I think that's
yeah,
funny.
yeah, that shit's fucking. But yeah, that it's fun. But yeah, there's a lot of scam videos that get quick scheme.
Hmm.
I used to know a guy that was always doing the pyramid schemes and shit. Like every time you turn around, he's doing pyramid schemes and shit on the advertisements or on like YouTube and shit, or like people goes trying to get to it, like selling stupid shit that nobody's gonna buy. It's like really like overpriced protein powder. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, or
some have gotten pretty creative where they're like the anti version of that, but they're still doing the same thing. They're like, we're not trying to tell you you're gonna make millions, but I just bought a new fucking Jetta. That's kind of cool. Like you you can make $100,000 a year. And if you do our version, we're not lying to you about making millions. Blah, blah, blah. Like fucking
Yeah.
assholes. Like you're smarter than the other guys, but you're still the same bullshit.
Same thing. Yeah, or I see all the ads pop up like, hey, you don't need an experience or a following. You can create a course and sell it online and some sucker's gonna buy it.
I
So,
Who
just
the
had
fuck's gonna
one
buy something
earlier
like
pop up in chat that said, do you want to be famous? That's what I was trying to tell Jerry to block earlier. It popped up and it was like, hey, do you want to be famous? And I was like trying to fucking block him and getting delete. But it's like, fuck no. No, I do not want to be famous. And don't ask again in my chat, please. Or like, trying to get people to buy viewers and shit. Like, click here, buy viewers,
mhm.
$10.
Sometimes I get interested in those bullshit ads though. Like, I guess it's the
Just to
same
follow them,
mentality I
just see
have.
where they go, see how far they've taken it. You know what
Like,
I
yeah,
mean?
like
Did
the
they actually take the time to build some bullshit website for this and like all of that? Like, how
like my thing
far?
is, I guess it's the same part of my brain that likes doing the movie pain or pleasure podcast, but if it's like a fitness ad or something like that, I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
I know enough to call bullshit on this, and I'll sit there and watch to see like what their scam is,
yeah.
just to see how different it is.
Oh yeah,
Total waste of time, but yeah.
yeah. Well, it's entertaining. Is it any more of a waste of time? I mean, what else would you be doing with that time? You know, watching some other bullshit video on, you know, the net social media platform. You know what I mean? So why not? Fuck it. You know
Maybe
what
one
I'm
day I'll
saying?
do a reaction to that instead of a
Yeah.
movie.
If that's what, if watching those videos and, you know, uh, making fun of them and shit is like, entertaining for you, if that's your version of entertainment, who the fuck is to tell you you're wrong? Nobody.
I don't know
I
if you can
like
really
that
get a
shit.
following behind that though.
I actually do the same shit though. I'll scroll through Facebook and like look at all the stupid fucking videos.
Oh god.
It's entertaining. You're entertained. But so comic book.
Oh.
Mm.
What's the deal with comic book?
Well, we haven't recorded it yet, but we got one coming up for Catwoman, the one from the 2000s. It was
Yeah,
terrible. Like they're
I don't think I've seen that.
It's
yeah,
Bad.
it's not good.
It's
But
like
the
Okay.
one good thing is Halle Berry, but
So this is
but
gonna
that's
be
only
what,
because like
Pain?
yeah. I think what angers me about that, like Catwoman and things like Aquaman, which, I'm all about seeing Jason Momoa walking around with his shirt off and his tattoos and whatnot. But
Yeah,
that these big production companies, excuse me, these big movie production companies pump out shitty movies and push people to buy it. It's like, okay, some of these big publishers will, they're very exclusive about what books they accept, but they'll publish like some celebrity's fake diet book. And meanwhile say, oh no, we are the gatekeepers of literature. And so there are these smaller independent movies that may be really great, but nobody hears about it because Paramount's putting out Aquaman or Catwoman or whatever, or Warner Brothers. Um, so I'm going to step off that
yeah,
soapbox
like
too.
fuck the DCEU altogether. Like
Yeah.
90% of it. A
yeah,
couple of like a couple of the movies that had Harley Quinn were okay, and then the rest of them, like Man of Steel was a good starting point, and then they got too greedy, and they're like, we can be the same as the Avengers, and just do it in a year. Fuck you,
No,
DC. Like,
I hate
yeah.
Wonder Woman. I fucking hate that movie. And maybe that'll set feminism back 50 years or whatever. And I'm supposed to be, it says on my book, I'm an independent career woman, so I should love the Wonder Woman movie. It was awful.
that might be part of it though.
Yeah.
Like, part of the pushback is the whole like, oh, we finally have a woman's superhero movie, and it's
That's great
supposed
and
to be
all, but
like,
it's a shit
but
movie.
it's terrible. Like, I'm gonna plug one of our
Why is it
episodes. Like,
shit?
well, it's
The acting, the story,
there's a
the
bunch of nitpicky stuff. We'll actually make a video about it
yeah, it's
eventually.
kind of like it's not the content that bothers me. It's like with the Twilight movies. Like I love vampires. The idea of teenage vampires, great, awesome. But the storytelling itself is lazy. The writing is bad. The acting is bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So those elements can ruin what could be an interesting concept.
Yeah, like a lot more, like a lot easier one to just nitpick off of one thing would be the sequel to Wonder Woman, the
Oh my God.
1984. Because I mean, she literally raped a guy in it, and somehow
oh
that
shit.
like the company didn't catch that. Like if they had written that with a dude in mind, they would have immediately caught it. But because it's Wonder Woman, it was okay. But like
Yeah,
to plug another one of our episodes, our very first episode was Cruella from Disney, and I had a problem with it because like we're really liberal, but this thing happened where they made one of the characters from the original 101 Dalmatians black for no reason, and she was barely in the movie. They didn't write her well. They didn't do anything with her. Stupid choices like that piss us off because it's like
yeah,
you had a really good subject matter and you could have done great things with it, and you decided to be lazy and just like I don't want to give people on the right that bitch about this too much. Like they bitch about it too much, but people do this. Companies will like just shove a person of color in certain places, be like, see, we're inclusive. Like, yeah, but you didn't give them any good lines. Why did you give all the good lines to the white people?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like shit
That
like that,
no,
or
that's true though. And you're right. They do that all the time. And
and that's
that,
that.
that I think that's what everybody shit on Tropic Thunder a while back, but I think that's the whole point that they was trying to make in that movie, through comedy or whatever. Um,
Yeah,
if y'all seen Tropic Thunder.
Oh yeah, that's one of my
yeah.
favorites.
We
But yeah, that's the
we're
whole thing that they was trying to push in that movie is how, these companies always give the good lines to the fucking white guy, with
yeah,
Robert with what's his
Robert
fucking
Downey
name?
Jr.
Yeah,
Robert Downey Jr. Yeah.
yeah. I mean
Uh
that made
yeah,
fun of the
that
whole
was his
process.
whole character was like fucking making fun of that cuz it's true,
Yeah. I do wonder if they could even make that
But
movie
people
now,
don't
which I
look
hate
at
saying
Tropic
that.
Thunder in that way. They look at Robert Downey. That there was a whole. Do y'all remember that the wave of people that was like Robert Downey Jr. did blackface and shit in Tropic Thunder?
Well, yeah, but that was the point, is that like it was
Yeah,
highlighting
it
how
was.
people
Yeah,
will how far people will go just to play this part that they could have just done the right thing for and gotten a black guy. Or yeah, and that's why things like Wonder Woman are just as sort of annoying. It was like they were super lazy with it when they could have really tried.
It's like, look, we have a female
yeah,
superhero, but it's still crappy quality movie, so doesn't really do much for girl power if you have a shit movie.
yeah, yeah. That's fucking. Yeah, that. I hate how they do that shit with movies. So stupid. So, there's a superhero TV show that I fucking saw. The Boys. What do y'all
Mm.
think about The Boys?
I love The Boys.
Yeah, we were super into it.
Yeah.
Um,
Have y'all watched
okay,
all of it already,
hmm
yeah,
or
we
what?
finished the second
Okay.
season.
Yeah. Yeah. So we can talk about that once. Spoil anything. Dude, I hate though, like that how dude the main character turned out to be like an asshole. Like that shit was like I love it, but I was like, damn, dude, you know what I mean? Because during the first season, whenever they fucking like when you're first like seeing him and shit, you think that he's like a hero or thing. Then it's
Are you
like
talking
no,
about Huey
super.
or
Was it fucking Omni Man? Or no, I'm thinking of a different fucking
Homelander?
show, bro.
Homelander?
Yeah, Homelander. Yeah. No, okay, so there's another show that's a cartoon that's kind of like The Boys or
Invincible.
whatever. But
Yeah,
which
Invincible.
I was gonna ask about that too, but I was gonna ask about that after. Alright.
Yeah.
We've seen that too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
why I
actually
was like,
more into that
I
one.
don't know why I said fucking Omni Man. I was thinking Homelander and shit. That was like, I don't know, for some reason I got fucking brain fart.
I mean, six of one, half dozen of the other.
But yeah, that shit. Those are I like how like like the storyline for it's like really simple.
I
Yeah.
liked how evil
Well,
Homelander was because it shows the evil American corporation, and
Yeah.
he
I got that vibe out
embodies
of it.
embodies
yeah.
all that. So
But and that stuff's become so prevalent now too, though. Like, I love both of those shows, and I'm super excited for whatever comes next. But like, that's why, like, before we started the podcast, I was talking to you about the book idea I had for that I've been writing. I need to do way more writing on. Um, that it's gonna be. I'm just gonna say what the name. The name is a superhero guide to business, and it's straight up just what normal everyday people who grew up on comic books like the X-Men and the DC comics what they would do with superpowers in the real world, which is probably hide that shit and make money. Like
Yeah, for
the
sure.
main
Just
character can
cover all of it
teleport.
up.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like the main character can teleport, but he just uses it so he can go to cool places on vacation and be a carrier service for like really fast, same sort of money as like FedEx and shit, but just do it all by himself and a funny friend of his that I actually enjoy writing.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's my favorite character. It's the friend.
yeah, and shit like that. Like I think honestly, like okay, except for Melanie and one of my friends from work, Terrence, those two would probably do some evil shit.
Oh yeah.
But I think most people would just be like, okay, this shit is cool. How could I make money off of this? I don't want to show this to people because it's the age of the internet. Everyone's gonna see it, and then I'm gonna get like absorbed by the government, and they're gonna torture me and do weird experiments and
I
shit
would use my powers to make money. I would also use them for evil.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what
So-
kind of evil?
Hmm.
I mean, what kind of evil
Well,
are we talking about? Some real dark shit?
I think I said in my Death Note episode that, you know,
like Mitch McConnell
I
wouldn't
would
be
use-
around anymore.
Shh, you
Yeah.
don't supposed to say things like that.
Okay.
I would use the Death Note, even though the caveat is you can neither go to heaven nor hell. I just pop up in the Shinigami world like, "What's up, motherfuckers? I used the book."
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's cool, dude. I think I would use it. I would use the Death Note.
Power of invisibility, I'd steal so much stuff. So this is why I can't have nice things.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But that's my counterculture idea to the counterculture of
What
the
would you
boys
use
and
your
the
powers
Invincible.
for, AJ?
Fuck. I would just,
mean,
you
what-
know, like I said, I would make money. I would do petty shit to people I don't like, but I don't think it would go so far as to be evil. I would just
You
like
wouldn't use.
humiliate
Would you
them.
use the Death Note?
Fuck no.
Oh.
I
No?
would just be, I would be happy enough knowing that there's some ethereal object that definitely states that there is a heaven and a hell. I'm just gonna accept that and walk away.
Yeah.
Good. More
You
from
wouldn't
Death
even
Note for me.
think about it. It wouldn't even be a thought. Like,
I
not
don't
even
want to
a
go to
fucking
purgatory.
thought.
Purgatory would suck.
No, not necessarily.
How do you know?
Mm-mm. Well, that's my problem. I don't know. I'm not taking a chance. I'd be a pussy about that stuff. I'm not doing that. Like
Yeah.
Melanie and y'all can have balls of steel and fucking just start writing, but
Durfus says it might just be boring.
boring is the worst kind of
That
hell.
might be the worst. Maybe that you're just freaking bored all the time, but you don't have anything to do. You can't go do anything.
Yeah, time probably passes faster in torture than it is in boredom.
Yeah.
Yes, I.
So,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah. All right. Well, what about So what's up with the dance move? Like,
Okay.
Well,
what?
This is
did I
something.
start that or did
Y'all
you start
like
that?
Well,
dance moves? Like, what kind of dance
Yeah, I
moves are you
know.
talking about?
I was kind of surprised that AJ was into dance movie because I studied dance in college, and I'm a girl. I like dancing and things
Yeah.
like that, and so actually I can appreciate the good dancing in it, but they're always cheesy, and so
Yeah.
that makes it funny. And I don't remember like how I discovered that AJ liked
I
dance
think
movies too.
I made you watch Step Up 3 was how it happened.
Yeah, because you've seen more dance
I
movies than I have.
no. I saw Step Up 3. That was it.
Okay.
And it is spiraled. I had seen Step Up 3 years ago, and I was surprised that I actually kind of enjoyed it because dance movies in general are a ridiculous idea, but the third one is the best one. It has
Mhm.
it's a lot of vibrant camera work, and it's just
Good dancing.
it's good dancing, even though I would never want to do that shit. And it just it's kind of got that tropey cliche, like you can't get away from that.
Yeah, like
in
we're gonna
most of
lose our
them.
building if we don't get $5,000. That's like the theme of every dance movie.
Yeah. So, except for like Step Up 4, where they're sort of terrorists,
They're
but
kind of dance
they're
terrorists,
yeah,
yeah.
they're which maybe we'll get around to in the future, but
Yeah,
um
but it's odd some of the things we have in common, like the musical Annie. I grew up
okay.
on that stuff, and
Oh,
That
AJ
Jesus
seems to like it
Christ.
too. We love Annie.
that's my ultimate guilty pleasure.
I thought you was
Annie?
gonna say something like, fucking, what the fuck is the name? John Travolta, Dirty
Oh,
Dancing,
Footloose?
Saturday Night Fever?
Oh,
or, yeah, I guess that.
nah.
Wasn't Dirty
I've never
Dancing,
seen
was that a dance movie?
That was a dance movie. I've seen it. It's okay. It seems like that's in like the basic bitch playbook. So,
I like more
Yeah, yeah.
modern dance movies, like
Well,
that
it could be
are
appreciated for an older movie though, right? You know, for its
yeah,
time.
I mean it's fine. It's more of like the romance, which is kind of creepy because she's a teenager in it. It's
Footloose.
all right. I think we need to see now I can't remember the name of it. It's escaping. It's not Footloose. It's yeah, Flashdance. I've never seen that one. That's like the classic 80s
hmm.
dance movie.
Never seen it.
Oh,
Never even
Never
heard of
seen
it.
it.
I feel like those probably have more effort put into the stories though, and I like it when there's not as much.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, now that I think about it now, it's just more showing off the dancing and the choreography and the camera work and all that stuff. And I like that now because I just like to watch good
Yeah,
dancing.
they're all pretty much guilty pleasures. Like there's a couple actually somewhat good ones. Like is it Heartbeats?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Heartbeats is actually a really good film, but it's super like dance movie, like showing off all the moves and stuff. But it's an well, it's not an Indian movie, but it's based in India, so it's a little more fun. It's a
Yeah,
little less generic
it's got,
American bullshit
got
that
some
you've all
Bollywood
seen.
influence.
So yeah, I don't know why that's a thing. It's just they're ridiculous, so they're fun.
Is it because okay, you're an athlete and you can appreciate how other athletes move? Does that come into play at all as to why you like to watch
I
good
guess so, because
dancing?
I mean, I wish I could do flips and shit like they could.
I know every time we watch these breakdancing guys do flips and stuff, just like, let me teach you a 360 kick and you can kick the shit out of somebody.
Okay, Jervis wants to know who you're confident, uh, who you're confident in beating in a dance off. AJ.
Fucking nobody. I'm white.
I've had 2 knee surgeries last year, so probably nobody. um,
Melanie can dance all she wants. I'm too white to dance.
so you don't dance, is what you're saying.
I would do aggressive forms to cool music if I had to.
You could probably do the
Oh, gee.
choreography from Bet on It. That's another guilty pleasure as the High School Musical movies. And so Zac Efron's not the greatest of dancers, so I could say we could probably both take on Zac Efron.
Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah.
I'll just do a spin kick for no reason and
God damn. That's funny. So what about
Then
action movies?
well, we kind of like to stick to like we like action in general, but we kind of like to stick to stuff that's like martial artsy, like not total martial arts. It doesn't have to be, but like martial arts influenced.
Yeah, I like ones that aren't too ridiculous and over the top, but we actually watched a good one the other day, like 2 nights ago, called Bloodfather with Mel Gibson. And so I liked it.
Really?
It's basically like
Racist
not
ass
a
Melly Gibson?
I know, yeah, no, not Melanie Gibson. Mel Gibson. Yeah,
Melly
he says a
Gibson.
few things in there. I will say, as much of a racist asshole he is, he looks good with a salt and pepper beard. But that was a good one. Like with action movies, I kind of get bored with them. Like I can't watch the Jason Bourne movies. It's just too
No,
much. It's
like
like too
like
much fighting, too much
Yeah.
explosions.
like
For me.
the old school Rambo style movies and
Cliffhanger. I love that one.
Cliffhanger was awesome.
Yeah, Stallone movies seem to
So
like those.
that and then like Scott Adkins and Michael J. White movies, which are
Mm-hmm.
all
Those are
not
martial
all, but
arts.
they're generally martial arts because those guys are
Yeah.
flat out martial artists and also actors, and then people like Stallone are kind of just action stars.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, they're
like
not actually martial artists and shit.
I mean, although well, except for that one time that he back kicked the shit out of Jean-Claude Van Damme in Expendables 2, which was awesome. But other than yeah, Stallone's just kind of like old
Jean
gritty.
Claude Van Damme is one of my favorite action uh, guys. Sure.
See, I feel like we feel like kind of
Bloodsport is a fucking classic.
see, we're frauds because we actually haven't seen any yet.
Haven't seen Bloodsport.
We're planning on watching
What?
Bloodsport soon. It's in our queue.
Haven't we seen? But we've seen the sequel.
Dude, one good movie, Jerfus, you are out of your fucking mind. Okay, just kidding. I thought Jerfus said he sucks. One good movie. And then he said, just kidding. So I thought he was serious there for a minute. I was like, that is a fucking classic. Dude, I hope Jean-Claude Van Damme comes to your house and roundhouse kicks you right out of your computer chair.
We have seen one with Jean-Claude Van Damme, but it was Kickboxer Redemption, which is
Yeah.
sort of, it's based around a new martial arts guy. He kind of looks like he's gonna be the new Scott Adkins, except he can't act at all.
No.
Oh,
He
shit.
was in
Why do they
Jiu-Jitsu as the
fucking
main
get
character.
these shitty they get these big name actors like Jean-Claude Van Damme, all these older guys, and they fucking put them in these movies with these shitty actors that can't act to be like trilogies shit, like the what was that fucking shit, the spin-offs that they did of Rocky and shit, you know, where he's fucking like training Apollo's son and shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
What the fuck was the name of that?
Creed.
Yeah,
Speaking of which,
Creed. I think they could
we're
have found
gonna-
a better actor to do that. I'm just saying.
Oh, I
I
like
thought
him.
it was okay.
It was
Actually, we're gonna
okay,
do
but
a-
like I think it could have been better. I think they
I think
could have
we-
made it better because the whole Rocky thing was like, you know, that whole storyline is such a classic thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like
Yeah,
they could've-
actually, speaking of Rocky, this sometime this month. So since it's Thanksgiving month, we don't really have like Thanksgiving-y type stuff. So we decided to do movies we appreciate. So we already recorded and we need to upload really soon the Jungle Book, like all of the Jungle Books. Like we watched all of them because we love the
shit.
story. And also we're gonna get to the Rocky franchise. So
Mhm.
Are
'cause
y'all
we
gonna
love
do
the Rocky
Stand By Me?
franchise. Say what?
Stand By Me?
I like that one. I don't know if Melody does.
I watched. I
Jerfus
think I borrowed
asked.
your version. It was okay.
This
I couldn't
is
get
a
into it.
Jerfus question.
It's a question from Jerfus if we like
Yeah,
it.
he just
loved
asked
it,
in
and I
chat.
watched it. It's
Bearded
okay.
Wonder FPS says I love the Jungle Book.
Good.
Good, we do too.
Good choice.
Yeah, the you can listen to it. It's already on Anchor, Spotify, and iTunes, but he still needs to upload the
I just need to
video.
hurry to fuck up because we're almost halfway through the month and we don't have any of our Thanksgiving appreciation videos up yet, so I need to hurry up. I only need to add a little bit to it, but we talk about the 1942 version, which is live action, all of it. It's on HBO Max right now.
Oh shit.
And then yeah.
It's good.
It's
Yeah.
good. It's worth checking out. Everyone is in brown face, which isn't great, but they do act like everyone acts well, so
And the main guy who plays Mowgli is really good.
And he's actually correctly Indian, so that part's good. Then we do the animated one everyone knows about, the not the remake, the 93 live action, which was a Disney film, and then the remake Disney film, which it's good, it's fine. And then Mowgli, which is on Netflix. It's a Netflix film, and it was directed by Andy Serkis, and it's fucking awesome.
It's incredible. I love that version.
It's the shit.
Oh yeah.
Like
Mowgli's a badass kid.
So we're gonna have a whole video on that as soon as I can get it up.
That's what she said.
Awesome. So so do y'all have it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's recorded and you
it's
can
recorded,
listen to
so,
the
I mean,
audio.
What's the holdback with putting it?
Oh.
Wait, what?
What's the holdup?
Yeah, like
I'm
you
slow
said,
as
the
fuck.
audio's already up and all of that. So like, you haven't posted the video yet. Like, is there like what's going on with the editing and stuff?
Well, I was editing Undisputed, and hopefully I'll get done with that today. Upload that, and then I'll edit the Mowgli slash Jungle Book video, which I really just need to add our intros and outros and
Well, and also poor AJ's using my ancient Mac that's about 10 years old,
Oh,
so
it's okay.
which we're
Yeah,
using
I
right
get
now.
it.
So
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
I get it.
there's a learning curve. You know, he's
Yeah.
had to learn how to edit videos and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. 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 I
Yeah, if we
just
blow up,
drop it.
maybe I can pay an editor.
I'm not even gonna edit this. I'm just gonna hit upload to YouTube. Yes, whenever we're
Cool.
yeah. Well, I
Perfect.
guess I have to wait 24 hours now, because of contract with Twitch. It's all good. But anyways, yeah, dude, that sounds like it's gonna be a killer episode to watch on YouTube. I'm gonna make sure to go and give that a listen on Spotify, shit. So, cause I like listening to podcasts whenever I'm on the go, like while I'm at work and shit. I'll pop in my headphones at work and listen to podcasts while I weed eat stuff. So that'll be a good episode for me to check out.
Yeah. That's how
Holy
I survive the
shit,
day at work.
Jerfus. Jerfus with the gifted sub. Jerfus gifted 5 tier 1 subs. Thank you for the 5 subs, Jerfus. Holy shit, Moose McMoose. Oh my god. You did not have to do that. Holy shit. Thank you so much, Jerfus, for the 5 gifted subs. Showing the love. That is fucking wonderful. Okay, I'm sorry about that. Jerfus distracted me there for a second with the 5 gifted subs. Oh my gosh. That is fucking. I appreciate that so much. Showing the love. Alright. Okay, that's cool. So, anyways, guys, what was we talking about again?
I
Shit.
don't know what subs are, so
Jerfus completely fucked me up there with that when I was not expecting that.
yeah,
Caught
we were
me
talking about
completely off guard.
editing YouTube videos and stuff.
Yeah, my
Uh,
shitty editing skills.
yeah, editing videos. Yeah, editing videos can be hard. That it can be a real motherfucker. I used to record video and audio like separately and shit before I fucking figured out I could just pull audio files from video and shit. So, and it was a pain in the ass, though, for sure. But once you figure it, get you get you a pattern down, good technique down, and shit, it'll be easy. And then you'll just be popping out those fucking videos same day.
Maybe. Because, like, we both still have our, regular jobs, too, so that's...
Yeah,
ugh. And
yeah,
since she uses this, I would probably do them quicker, but, Melanie has a legit, corporate job, so she has to use her both computers from time to time, so that hopefully pretty soon I'll have my own and we can have that as a dedicated podcast computer.
for
So...
sure. Dude, that'd be fucking sick. That'd be cool. Stepping up the game a little bit. Have you thought about anything specifically that you might want to get for a podcast computer?
No, basically what I'm waiting on is for the state to buy my computer because
Oh,
I'm on the Texas Workforce DARS program because I'm legally blind.
okay.
So they're
Yeah,
supposed to give me a computer so I can go to college, so I'm signing up for classes and they're supposed to go okay,
yeah.
well, we'll pay for this shit, this
So
whatever
you
they end
are
up.
legally blind. It's like it's a, you know, like you can't see. Like, is it like night blind or what?
Well, so they don't base it off of that apparently. I am night blind, not well, I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't like even saying legally blind because it doesn't really paint the right picture.
okay.
But like they base it on what your field is. So I can technically my field goes from 180 degrees, but there are spaces in the middle that are weak. And
Okay.
so like the doctors will like go like this from the side, and whenever you tell them like, okay, I can see it, that's what they claim as your field. And at a certain point, that's where they decide you are either not or are legally blind. So that's a thing that happened this last year. I also had cataract surgery, so that was a thing. But
Oh, okay. Did it help this
no,
cataract surgery? No, it did not.
not at all.
Oh shit.
Actually, it made it worse in some situations just because
Oh,
the the cataracts weren't terrible, but they decided they might as well take them out. But all the cataracts did were kind of make a glossy light or gloss around lights, so it was like there's a ring and shit around lights on the road and stuff, which is why I had to stop driving early in the morning. I probably shouldn't have been anyway, but um so they took that out, so I don't have the gloss thing going on, but I also now need glasses that I didn't necessarily need before because I can't read up close like I used to. And so I'm still only up to like 20, 40 far away, and then up close I need glasses to see for reading.
yeah.
So it's yeah, and it doesn't affect the peripheral vision at all, but meh.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, all of that.
Yeah. That still sucks though. Like, I hate having bad eyesight. It can be a pain in that. I know it's like, yeah. I wear glasses too. I have to go get a new prescription because I noticed last night I was playing a game and I kept having to lean real far forward to fucking read the shit that it was saying in game. That right there told me like, okay, yeah, I'm wearing my glasses and I still can't read what I'm fucking looking at. So it can be a pain in the fucking ass. But yeah, having to fucking deal with that shit. So do you wear like wear glasses all the time or like
I have
yeah, or do
bifocals.
you wear like
Um,
contacts and shit sometimes?
no, I tried wearing contacts when I was like 18, and the bitch that had to take them out pissed me off so bad that I didn't want to ever wear them.
It feels weird though, doesn't it? Putting something on your fucking eyeball. That's a problem that I have with
Well,
it.
so
All my
we
brothers
got
wear
them in.
contacts and I can't fucking do it, bro.
They finally got them in, and then they're like, okay, so we're gonna take them out this way, which somebody else later told me a better way, which they didn't. So fuck them. But but they're like, okay, well we can't let you in, so we'll have to take them out. And this bitch had these long ass nails. She's like trying to get out of my eyes, like that fucking hurts. I can feel it. Feels like your nails digging into my eye. She's like, it doesn't hurt. It's just uncomfortable. And I'm like, fuck you. You don't tell me if something hurts. This
Yeah,
old
what the
bitch.
fuck?
Like,
Sounds
so I never even
very
went back to them.
unprofessional.
Yeah, I never even went back to that office, and they're the ones that told me I had retinitis. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
so I didn't even get to keep up with that shit for a while. But yeah, it didn't really affect me that much till recently, other than
yeah.
the slight night blindness.
Okay, so what about sci-fi? We have not talked about that. And let me start this off by asking Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars.
Fucking A. Hell yes, dude. Finally, somebody that agrees with me. Why?
You know why it's Star Wars over Star Trek?
Why?
Because it's barely even sci-fi.
We were
What
just
is?
talking about this.
Like we were just talking about, it's technically like I don't want to say there's a stamp of anything, but it feels more like fantasy with a sci-fi lens.
What?
So,
Star Wars or Star
yeah,
Trek?
Star Wars.
Star Wars is fantasy, so it's not sci-fi. Okay.
Well, it's like it's got the wrappings of fantasy, but it's built sci-fi. So it's like there's none of the boring shit that I don't really like. I question, but I also don't want them to spend a lot of time on.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We don't have a lot of sci-fi stuff.
Yeah, I'm
Li-
not really into sci-fi, but AJ has gotten me into cosmic horror, like H.P. Lovecraft, and I like it as Um, I like the bleakness of it, and I think I always have like an existential crisis every other year or so, and it kind of comforts me that like, oh, we're just this insignificant spot in a horrific universe. But we just watched one. Okay, we just watched a movie called Event Horizon, which I guess could
Uh-huh.
be sci-fi cosmic horror. It was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
super into it the first night. We didn't have enough time. Fuck,
Oh,
can't. We
hell
have to
yeah.
go to bed.
Yeah, it's like a deep space horror type of film. And a bunch of big names are in it. Lawrence Fishburne, Sam Neill, Jolie Richardson, Jason Isaacs.
Fucking
Hell
everybody.
yeah.
Everybody's in it. It's good.
Nice. Check that out.
We
So,
will end up doing Battlefield Earth at some point,
okay.
which
What
is
is that?
oh, it's a hate watch for sure.
It's by L. Ron Hubbard, as in Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard, and
Yeah.
it's really funny.
It's John Travolta, and it's super over the top, and it's just terrible. Like this, Battlefield Earth is apparently like his big, like, this is a really good novel that he, but they don't make it look like it. Like, L. Ron Hubbard
Yeah.
was a terrible writer, by the way.
But
I bought a book
oh god,
recently.
that book.
I can't called. It's in the
Death
other room.
Quest. It's called Death Quest.
Death Quest. It is so fucked up. The main character, I think, is like a villain because he totally talks about how he rapes lesbians, but in the book,
Oh.
I don't know if it's supposed to be a parody, but they're into it, and he keeps calling like the lesbians either husbands or wives based on how they dress and shit, and it's just
It's awful.
like, it's so weird and it's
That's
so
fucked
terrible.
up.
I think
Yeah,
L.
that
Ron
sounds
Hubbard holds the record for the
homophobic.
most published author ever, because I think he's self-published most of the time, which is nothing wrong with that. But that also means crank out a bad you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it sounds extremely homophobic. For
yeah.
sure.
It is. Yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
Battlefield Earth is super like against psychiatrists somehow. Like he literally names his villains in that cyclos.
The
Cyclos, and it's very badly veiled as like hating on psychiatry in general and stuff like that. So we'll get around to that one, and it's totally a sci-fi. It's terrible, but yeah, as close as we get to sci-fi really is the Twilight Zone, like the old school one.
Love the Twilight Zone.
Okay.
Like that one's that's the shit, but other
I've
than
never
that,
seen it.
oh
I've
my
never
God.
watched the
No.
Twilight Zone.
We watched all the Planet of the Apes movies, I guess. Would that
Oh,
be
yeah.
considered sci-fi?
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
that
there's
is
that.
definitely sci-fi.
Yeah, the original ones. I haven't seen the new ones, which I guess I should, because I know they're good.
I've seen one of them. It was okay.
But the old school ones, they're so fucking good.
Mhm.
And
I was
Roddy
really big into
McDowall
the
is
comic
awesome.
books before they started making movie shit about it. I was really big into the comic.
Yeah, I heard about that. I also heard they had like it all came from one original novel, and the subsequent stories I don't know. Like for
Um,
movies.
I remember the comic books and shit when they started dropping, and that shit was really big, and it was like a few years later they started making shit. Planet of comic book fucking great, and they're a little bit different though, which with
Yeah.
any kind of illustration or detail and things like that they have in there, they can't really put into or fit into a movie without it being, I mean, like 7 hours.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
just make a 24-hour movie and add every detail from the book. I hate the people that always bitch about, oh, the movies are trash because they don't have the same detail. It's like, okay, they can't put the same detail. So your argument for that is invalid. But
I'm
that's
somewhere in
always my
between on that, so.
response. Like, Jesus Christ. If they could, though, I mean, that would be cool. But who the fuck's gonna sit there and watch it that long? You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
I am glad that they got to the point where they started doing more series adaptations nowadays, where they're
yeah,
they're
that
not
way they
trying to
can
force
add more
movies.
detail and shit and make it closer to the book.
That's what I wish they do with The Dark Tower.
Yeah, or an anime.
Well, look how badly they did it with fucking Game of Thrones.
Yeah, that.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And
they had the
I
perfect
read.
opportunity to, you know what I mean, have it like, like just like how it was written with the book. They had a series. They could have made it a little longer and had and just did, like just followed the fucking storyline, the original
Yeah,
storyline from the book and
fucking.
shit, and it would have been fucking great. But
Yeah,
when they started veering off and
Andy.
just like doing their own thing because they, the books hadn't been written yet and shit, that's when they started fucking like started
They were
getting
lazy
kind
as
of
fuck
choppy.
too.
Said what?
They were lazy as fuck too. Like those guys D&D or whatever. Like they flat out said like, we want to move on to other shit. Like you guys are the ones that fought to bring this shit off the ground. Pieces of
Yeah,
shit. You like sign it over to new writers if you're too fucking lazy to finish.
yeah, no shit.
But yeah, I like we kind of even want to go back and watch the series again because we were really into it up until like season 6.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a
but
love-hate
it's hard.
relationship for sure with that show.
eh,
Mhm.
well, it's hard to commit to something you know is gonna end badly.
Yeah, I know. And I think I saw the show first before I started reading the books. And I stayed away from that because I'm really not into fantasy. And I just thought, oh, I can't deal with this. It's wizards and dragons and blah. So, um, but after I watched half the first episode and I was bored and I stopped. And then we started again and I really got into it. So, and then I read the books, and the books are, I think the books are good for people who aren't really into fantasy. Like, okay, like he was saying, he introduced me to Death Note because I wasn't really into anime. Game of Thrones, I would say, like, if you don't like fantasy, give that a try because I really don't care for fantasy, but I really love those books. It's good writing, good storytelling. You really get into it. So, for a non-fantasy person, Game of Thrones is, or Song of Ice and Fire, or whatever it is, that's a good one to get into.
Hell yeah, yeah, I totally. It is. I like stuff like that where it's like the medieval fantasy, where it's not just like it's not too over the top. You know what I mean? They have dragons and shit like that later on, like undead stuff, but I mean it's just not like wizards and shit like that shoved down your throat at every turn. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like,
It's not like Lord of the Rings, which is
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
boring as
Well,
fuck,
okay,
by the
I
way.
like Lord of the Rings, not like Harry Potter. You know what I'm saying?
See, so I like Harry Potter books. The movies piss me off after the fourth one. She likes Harry Potter but doesn't like Lord of the Rings. I
Oh.
I love the Lord of the Rings movies. I love the Hobbit book, and I don't like the Lord of the Rings books because I think they're boring as fuck. So
Oh yeah. Yeah. I
like
like the
they're just
movies. I'm the same way. I like the movies over the books with Lord of the Rings. But I got into that shit because of The Hobbit, which was the first like book that written like kind of like a kid's book, I guess.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
I
know?
read that in sixth grade and loved it. And so,
Yeah.
but then I tried to read the Lord of the Rings books. I couldn't. It was too boring.
Yeah.
Couldn't get into it.
Well,
I think The Hobbit was the first book that taught me what kind of genre I should look for. Because when I was a kid, I was good at reading, but I wasn't interested in reading.
yeah.
And I read Harry Potter, and I really liked that. And then I would try to
Yeah.
read other stuff. I'm like, this shit is boring. And then my dad gave me The Hobbit, which he had at some point, and I was like, oh, I need to look for fantasy, like
Yeah.
or action or something. Like my brain finally clicked because I was still a kid, so I didn't know like, oh, you look for a specific kind of book. And yeah,
Yeah, you look for a specific genre that you I have several books and stuff. Yeah, that's definitely one of those things where you either love it or you don't. Hello, Rapid Robert 12. Welcome. But yeah, that's definitely one of those movies where it's like, you know, but I mean, you said that, you know, you didn't like all the wizards and all that shit, like excessively, but you enjoy Harry Potter.
Yeah, I know. I love Harry Potter, and really, my mom got me into it. Okay. I'm gonna age myself, but I was in college when those books came out, and
So
my
you
mom bought
do
the
like
first
the
one.
wizard.
Yeah, she wanted to hear. She heard all this hype about it. She's like, I want to see what this is about. So she bought the first two books, and I was
Yeah,
home
yeah,
visiting from college, and I read them like in the weekend, and I
yeah.
loved them. So I don't know why I love the Harry Potter
I
books.
think I think it's because it's contemporary.
It's
Like it's
contemporary. It's good.
Yeah.
I think what I don't really care for is all kind of the medieval type of
Oh, okay, okay.
what
stuff.
the
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the word. Not like weeb, but like, you
The
know,
fantasy
old
equivalent of a weeb.
old nerd culture, like where that the big fucking round dude that never washes his hair and it's just like, well, yeah, I can roll a 3 and like that
Yeah.
guy. Like that sort of fantasy I don't like either. Like I don't like if it sounds like all the names in it are made up to try to sound super fanciful and shit. Like I like more of like Black Magic Outlaw, which is an awesome contemporary like urban fantasy, and I don't know, Lies of Locke
Well, I was
Lamora.
going to mention that one. That was another that is, if you're not really into fantasy, that's a good one because I enjoyed that one.
Yeah, read the Gentleman
Okay.
Bastard series. It's like
Well,
a Renaissance fantasy.
okay. I'll check that out.
It's
Jerfus
really
said,
clever.
what about Black Mirror?
Mm-hmm.
See, I never got
Sorry, I just took a
around to
drink of
it.
water. I like the Twilight Zone, and I love Black Mirror. So I'm surprised I haven't gotten you to watch
I just never got
any of
around to
them.
watching it. When it first came out, I wasn't.
And like what everybody said is like, don't watch the first episode, just skip over it. And it's not really the first episode is weird. It doesn't really define what you're going to see in the rest of the series, but I love it. I love how fucked up it is.
I feel like they should just delete that because I've heard that so many times. They might as well just remove the first one.
Jerfus says, you need to watch them. Skip the first episode.
Yep, see?
Yeah.
I stuck with it, and now what I kind of don't like is like with the last season, they're almost doing mini movies, like hour and a half long episodes. Like there was the one with Miley Cyrus, which I really liked, but it was like watching a movie. They had maybe 4 episodes that were an hour and a half long. So
Yeah. That's what was awesome about the old Twilight Zone. You got 20 minutes to make an incredible story, and they do it every time.
I know, and I'm just sitting there thinking, I can't for an entire book, and these people think of these really mind-blowing ideas that they show in like 20-25 minutes.
And the acting is awesome. Like everybody that they may have never had a career again, everybody's awesome in it. Like the very first episode, I think, is the Man Alone, like where he's on Earth and he can't find anybody.
It's in a deserted town,
and that's it. The entire episode is just this one guy on screen dealing with that, and it's terrific.
Well, I've never seen it, but Jerfus says, to be fair, not all episodes of Black Mirror are good. Some suck.
That's true. There are some. There's some that I had to skip because it got boring.
Okay.
Yeah, but most of it I like.
I mean, nobody's gonna make a perfect every single episode, so
yeah.
Like some people probably watch some of our episodes like, you guys are boring as fuck, and then skip over it.
Oh, I'm sure people watch that about me. I get stuck and shit. Whatever. Crazy shit. But anyways, so y'all have Netflix and shit like that. Or you watch Netflix. So have you seen The 100?
No, is that a movie or a show?
It's a show.
The show. And
isn't it about like 100 people on Earth?
Yeah, so it's good. Okay, so it's good. It's a sci-fi show. It's about like it's about like the Earth is like nuked, like everybody nukes each other and shit, and like so a few people, like a big majority of people goes and like they're living in outer space in like this spacecraft thing and shit, and they've been living up there for a long time, but like after years and years of living up there, they're starting to like their resources and shit, they're starting to like deplete their resources and shit like that. They don't know if Earth is habitable or whatever. So they don't know if it's habitable because everything was like contaminated, when we nuclear contamination from all the nations and shit like nuking each other and stuff. So they send 100 people back to Earth as like test dummies to see if the radiation has cleared up enough for people to live, right?
Hmm. I
And
just started
like
thinking about that.
yeah, it's good. I like it, but the 100 people it's fucked up. Here's the dark side. The 100 people are like delinquent children, like that were like pretty much in like juvenile detention centers, like poor kids and shit that like got arrested for like stealing food and shit like that. um or like and like that's a like a big thing. They're living in a spaceship, like everything's got to be like distributed evenly and shit like that. So if like stealing food stuff like that's a big offense, but like so they're pretty much like juvenile delinquents or whatever. So they send them, they're like, you know if we release them back out into the civilization up here in the spacecraft and shit, they're probably gonna be stealing again, stealing water again. We're already our supplies are already like dwindling down and shit. So let's just send them to Earth to see if it's habitable. And it's like pretty much like fuck them. If they die, then oh well. But it's good though. It's worth watching because
Hmm.
obviously they don't die. But I'm gonna stop telling y'all too much about it since you haven't seen it. But that's like the basis of the story of like what's going on and all that shit.
So
It's
it's
called.
Space Australia.
Said
That's
what?
exactly what I was thinking.
It's Space Australia.
Australia? Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
like
It was like the penal colony, so
they're like,
yeah.
you
Oh
fuckers need
yeah,
to leave.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know why
So
I was trying to go with British, but
yeah, it's like a space colony, I guess. But like, there's it's wild as fuck, and um
my
and
girls told me about that shit
yeah,
too.
so it's pretty much like a a fantasy of like or like a sci-fi of like what
Mm.
if we all nuked each other? What if all these countries fucking just like nuked each other, and destroyed the fucking world and stuff, and like only a few people are able to like slip away into space and live in space.
We should
But
just
it's
test
just
it out.
Wait, what?
So we should
no.
just test it out.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good too. Is there anything else that you guys want to talk about before we wrap this up?
Can we talk about how to find us?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so you can listen to our podcast, Movie Pain or Pleasure, on Anchor, Spotify, and iTunes, and watch it on YouTube. And we also have an Instagram, Movie Pain or Pleasure podcast. And then I'm on Instagram at Melanie Gibson Author. So,
And then soon we will do our first Twitch episode.
mhm.
So that'll be the next time we record, we'll go with Twitch first. And
Okay.
after I get up all these other fucking so that'll probably be our Rocky episode. Probably be our first Twitch stream, so
Okay,
yeah.
nice. Heck yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys coming on for a podcast to Nerds Incoming. I'll I might ask you guys to come back for another episode again. Never know. That was I had a good time talking to y'all about movie shit and hearing about your hate watch episodes. Stuff. That was really great, and I really appreciate what you guys are doing on YouTube and all of that. Awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right. So everybody go check them out and watch out for the Spotify versions, all of that, Make sure to share all that stuff up when you see it drop tomorrow. Yeah. Anyways, take it easy. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Jerfus, for the gifted subs. You're a legend for that, my guy. And I will catch y'all on my next live probably tomorrow. Peace.